Hello everybody, my name is Prince Boss, and welcome back to the great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last time, we basically had a lot of stuff. Gina Lestrade, convicted of murder. Then, Herlock Sholmes is in drastic surgery to save his life. We also have Susato leaving the day of the trial. So we have no idea what the fuck we're gonna be doing. We will have to do this on our own. But today we are going to be investigating the scene of the crime finally, and find out if there's any evidence that can link us towards our mystery shooters and killers. Without any further ado, my good friends, let us get started in 3, 2, 1. By the way, I got some water, so if you don't hear me talk during a speech line, I'm drinking. Can't wait to go home and get some real water. Fuck, that shit just tastes terrible. April 16th, 1:26 p.m., Windy Banks Pawnbrokery. Here we are again at the scene of the crime. Now to thrust these representation papers in Gregson's face and see what he makes of them. Hello again, Inspector. Do you have a minute, please? What is it now? You should go home and get some rest.
Here you are, Gregsy. Here are the representation papers.
Your ladyship! How? I love this game sometimes, dude. This game's great. I don't believe it! How the devil did you get that stubborn little ragabash to sign that? I salute you! That is good work, that is.
I can see you've been very busy here as well. How about some tea? It's a special blend designed to relieve fatigue.
Oh, here we go. Fuck, chuck that fucking tea. Also, I'm sure I'm not doing her voice right. Lovely. Well, let's see now. Yes, I hardly feel tired at all. I'm fit as a fiddle, your ladyship. Would it be alright if we investigated the scene of the crime, then? Do as you please. You know where it happened? Through that door behind the counter. Yes, the storeroom. That's where I discovered Mr. Windybank. And Gina. Right, well, I'll be getting back to business then. Will you be investigating in the storeroom as well, Inspector? If I'm perfectly honest, we need to wrap this up before long. Can't afford to spend too much time on it. But there are so many articles to go through, it's taking forever. Even with the lads working around the clock. Which is a problem, because there's another case the yard needs to investigate urgently. That must be what Lord Strongheart meant by far more serious matters before. So what I'm saying is, don't get under my feet, sunshine! You got it.
Come on, then. Let's not waste any time.
Alright, Susato, let's go! Oh my god. I forgot about all these. How do I get back there? I guess I have to inspect it. Examine it.
Behind that door is the storeroom, isn't it? That's what Gregsy said.
Yes, and that's where I saw that dreadful scene last night. Through the little window in the door. No! Mr. Windybank! Gina! Mr. Windybank, face down on the floor, with Gina beside him.
As the accused legal representative, you have the right to examine the scene, Mr. Naruhodo. We must make a thorough investigation.
Yes, of course. And we will. Behind that door, that's the real scene of the crime.
in there. I'll find them.
Alright. Let's go in. Let's do it, boys and girls. Hopefully. 16th of April, Windy Bank's storeroom. Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry, Iris. Poor Iris. She's clammed up completely.
Iris is bound to find this difficult. After all, Mr. Windybank's life was taken in this very room only last night.
Oh. Hey, Gregson. Ugh! Hey, Inspector! What is it now, sunshine? You took one look at me and tried to run away. You think a Scotland Yard inspector would run away from some jumped-up little defense lawyer, do you? Well... I've never seen her ladyship looking like that before, is the thing. I didn't know what to say to her. So you weren't running away from me, you were running away from a 10-year-old.
I'm afraid this is all a little too much for young Iris. Some gentle reassurance might go a long way, perhaps, Inspector.
Eh? Don't trouble yourself unduly, your ladyship. I mean, at least you're not dead, are you? Gregson. Gregson. That made it worse. I don't think that went very well. Why? Look, I'm in the middle of an investigation here, sunshine, and I told you not to get under my feet.
And we have investigating to do ourselves.
Yes. I'd like to hear more of what the socially inept inspector has to say.
Oh, Hurley!
And inquire into how Mr. Sholmes' operation is going. Nope, I don't want to move. Let me talk. So, Inspector, what do you make of the crime scene here? Sure, you've got eyes, haven't you? Use them! It's what it looks like. Nothing more, nothing less. Iris, could you lend me a hand?
Oh, so Grexy, what do you make of the crime scene here?
Oh yes, your ladyship, do allow me to humbly explain. Last night, at shortly after the hour of 1 o'clock in the morning, Scotland Yard police attended the scene. The one and only door to the storeroom was found locked from the inside. So it was locked from the inside.
The lock appears to be broken now, though. What was that the police officers doing?
Quite right, madam, quite right. We took the liberty of smashing the door in, as humbly as possible.
Oh.
As you can see, the victim was discovered prostrate on the floor, thuswise. And next to the aforementioned body, we discovered the vile gutter child.
Are you talking about Jeannie? She's my friend, you know, Inspector.
Miss Lestrade, the hapless girl, was curled up on the floor, dead to the world. She's still alive, you know. Yes, when I saw her, she appeared to be unconscious. And I'm afraid to say she had the gun that was used in her hand.
No!
Presumably, it's the gun that's still down there on the floor now. In her pocket, we found the key to the door as well. What? The key to the storeroom?
And you say the storeroom has been locked from the inside, Inspector?
Correct. As all of which leaves her ladyship's friend in something of a sticky situation, I'm afraid. Obviously, my personal opinion is that it's all some sort of misunderstanding. Of course it is, Inspector. Of course it is. How's his operation going?
Grexy, do you know anything about Hurley? The Is the operation finished? Is Hurley alright? Is he?
The thing is,
Don't mince your words, Inspector, please. You don't mean to say that Mr. Shones is...
No. The operation's done and dusted. It's just that, well...
Out with it!
Yes, ma'am! They use something called a general anesthetic. It's the latest thing, renders the whole body insensitive. The whole body? Anesthetized? Is that even possible? It means the operation can be completed while the patient is fast asleep.
Goodness, in the Empire of Japan, we can just manage to provide laughing gas for a tooth extraction.
The trouble is, the latest thing isn't always the greatest thing, if you follow my meaning. They couldn't get the medication to work at first, so it took hours for him to nod off, so I hear. And now that the op's finished, they say they can't get him to wake up, apparently.
Oh my!
No one knows if the anesthetic's still in his system, or if the bloke's just plain exhausted. But anyway, all they could do is stand back and watch until he comes around again.
Hurley.
The moment he opens his eyes, your ladyship, I swear I shall get word to you. What a surprise. Even in matters of life and death, Mr. Sholmes has to do things his way. Well, I guess this means I can examine the scene of the crime. The police have marked the position of the body with a chalk line.
Oh, Mr. Windybank. He was a nice old man.
Well, he was shot just once through the heart. Most likely, the fellow died instantly. He wouldn't have felt a thing.
Aha! I may well be able to help with that.
What?
Especially like the sight of blood to get the blood pumping, is there, Bruno?
I have a feeling I'm not as blood-minded as you, Iris.
I'm afraid the sight of blood makes my blood run cold.
There you have it, you see? When it comes to blood, we're all different types.
Yes, what a scientific observation.
So you need this.
Oh no, what is that scary-looking thing?
Hurley and I haven't actually come up with a name for it yet. But as soon as you see it in action, you'll understand what it does. Watch!
Oh. Oh, the color of the bloodstain has changed!
There! Does it make sense now?
Yes, I think I'm starting to understand.
Good! It works on the principle that different people have different types of blood, you see?
Yes, how wonderful.
The chemical it flies combines with the blood and makes it change color. So you can identify who the blood it is that you're looking at. In a flash.
Oh, what a fabulous invention, Iris.
Isn't it? Isn't it? I bet Jeannie would say it's bleeding grey.
So, whose blood are we looking at then?
This must be Mr. Windybank's blood.
Yes, this is where he was shot, so there can't be any question of that.
This could turn out to be a very valuable clue. So we simply must make a note of it.
The blood stain analysis.
Let's keep testing and adding the results of any blood analysis to the portfolio.
As long as I have red and left, sure.
Region? Guess the gun. Next. This is a revolver. A real one!
And quite possibly the murder weapon used to take Mr. Windybank's life.
What's the matter, Susie? You and Bruno look like you're about to fight.
Well, it's just that I've rarely seen a gun in the flesh.
And I've had issues with guns in the past. But anyway, we saw Mr. Windybank with this yesterday, didn't we? I shall have to take my own life. Oh, just one line? Alright. It must be the same gun. And last night, when I looked through the spy hole in the door to the storeroom here. That was the same gun I saw in Gina's hand.
Mr. Windybank told us that he only ever had a single bullet loaded in his revolver, didn't he?
Well, it's empty now. The one that I bought it, he had in his gun had been fired.
So we can be fairly certain that only a single shot was fired from this revolver. Not the bike. Out of all the articles in this storeroom, this is the only thing that shows any sign of being ransacked.
Oh!
What is it, Iris?
That's the books file. But my manuscript was being kept in.
Oh!
Iris's unpublished story, The Hound of Baskervilles. Surely, that's not what all this...
Sorry, Iris, but if you ask me, he sold it. Without telling you. You must check inside the box, at once.
Yes.
Ah! It was there! Iris's story was there!
Really? It was? Well, that's good news, isn't it, Iris?
Yes. I mean, of course I believed Hurley when he said he deposited it here, but still. It's a relief to actually see you.
Really? Because that's not a very well hidden frown. Look at all these articles that have been deposited. The room is stuffed full of them.
I can't believe how many there are.
Bicycle, a gramophone, musical instruments, even some enormous paintings. Look!
Pieces of different people's lives, quietly gathering dust in here, together. It's very peaceful about the atmosphere in here. Or at least there wouldn't be, if not for the chalk outline on the floor and the policemen shuffling around. Not much I can do about that, Sunshine. I wasn't asking you, really. Did we get everything that was in here? Search around, nope. Iris?
Don't worry, I'm alright. But we must find the true culprit.
Yes, absolutely.
Ah, that's it. I'm guessing that's it here. I guess I gotta present something. Inspector Gregson, could you give me your opinion about this, do you think? We don't tend to share, Sunshine, not with the general public. Ugh.
In that case, Brexy, how about some herbal tea?
Well, I'm guessing I'm taking this time to take a sip of my water. Lovely. Not very much. That really hits the spot, your ladyship. You don't mind sharing that, then? This one? Ah, is that what I think it is? Your ladyship's latest?
Yes, my latest story. It's called The Hound of the Baskervilles.
A most fascinating tale, your ladyship. Fascinating! And, I don't suppose... Would there be any mention of my humble self in the tale this time?
Good question. I can't really remember.
I see. Well, why would you, your ladyship? I'll just await its publication with eager anticipation. You needn't worry, Inspector. I'm sure if you do appear, you won't be doing anything particularly remarkable. Damn. You're looking to be arrested, Sunshine. I didn't mean it like that. Even if I did, you wouldn't have bitten her ladyship's head off, would you? Well, I guess that's nothing else I can do in here. Get the fuck out. I guess we gotta go to his hospital bed. See if we can do anything there. Nope, of course not. Good question. Where to go? Paint shop? Oh god, where do I go? Baker Street? Oh, of course not. I got everything I have, right? Or do I have to go back inside the main shop and investigate? As well. Ask the bullies what they think. The police are scouring every inch of this place, by the look of it. Instructions from the yard are to examine every article in the shop, and every ledger and book of accounts. Every article? But that's a ridiculous amount of work, surely. We've been hard at it ever since the shop was declared a crime scene in the early hours. We're sifted through all of the shifts, at least, but still. We'll be working through the night, that's for sure. And even then, we'll barely have scratched the surface. Crime and a pawnbroker's. It must be every policeman's worst nightmare. It's every cop's worst nightmare, you know? A crime and a pawnbroker's. Oh. Let's see, oh, yeah, there's something broken. There's the article ledger here. And Mr. Winniebank's notes, and... What's this? It looks as though someone has left a little photographic print behind.
Oh, look on the back. There's some writing on it. Is there? Oh, show us, Susie! Show us! 15th of February, 10:30 p.m. Article deposited, 1 gentleman's overcoat. Loan amount paid, £1. Redemption deadline, the 15th of April, 10:30 p.m.
A gentleman's overcoat pawned for £1? Clearly it was a very fine coat. In fact, I think...
Yes! That must be the ticket for the overcoat that Ginny redeemed yesterday!
And is still wearing, which belonged to McGilded. I would never have expected the redemption ticket to be handwritten on the back of a photograph, though.
It seems Mr. Winniebank just used whatever piece of paper he happened to have on hand.
This photograph of a cat, it looks very familiar, doesn't it? I'm sure I've seen this exact same picture somewhere else recently.
Oh, yes, you're right! Very recently! It's the same one as the one Ginny gave us earlier!
Of course! I was forgetting that she gave us that print.
But what are we waiting for, Mr. Naruto? Get it out!
Alright, let the cogs turn. It's the exact same. Yeah.
Yes!
No, sorry.
Yes, they're the exact same!
Well, if the one on the counter was used as a redemption ticket, perhaps the other photograph that Gina gave us has something written on the back, too.
Yay! I've got it! These two photographs hide an amazing secret!
A secret? What does she mean?
You must tell us, Iris, at once! Do you really, really, really want to know?
Yes! You need you to tell us all you know about this pair of photographs. But first... examination. Look on the back of this print here. There's something written on it.
The 13th of February, 9 p.m. Article deposited, 1 small box. Loan amount paid, 10 shillings. Redemption deadline, 13th of April, 9 p.m.
So this photographic print is a redemption ticket?
For an article that was deposited 2 days prior to the incident on the omnibus, it would seem.
Yes, a small box. That doesn't tell us much about it, does it?
Perhaps it contains some valuable mementos? I can't help wondering. Presumably, Mr. McGilda never redeemed the article in question since he still had the ticket. So isn't it possible that the box is still present somewhere in the shop?
Ah, yes. If it's something Mr. McGill deposited, we need to investigate. So I have to find a box here. Now I got a question. Fucking her. Here we go. So, Iris, about these two photographic prints. The one we found here on Winniebank's encounter, and the one Gina gave us before. What is this amazing secret you mentioned that's hidden between these two identical prints? Like the location?
Actually, that's not quite right.
Sorry?
If you look carefully, the two prints aren't the same. Not exactly.
They're not!
Have another look at them now.
Is it big? Its head's tilted just slightly? Is that it? The head's just tilted very slightly?
And you see that they're just slightly different from each other.
I think so. It's very subtle, though.
What's the reason for the subtle difference between the two prints?
Oh, well, it's because they're a set, you see.
No, I don't.
This pair of photographs is meant to be used in a stereoscope. Everyone in London is raving about them at the moment.
Ah, a stereoscope. Why do I feel as though I've heard that word before recently?
Oh, yes! That's what Mr. Sholmes showed us yesterday. You see? There it is, just over there.
Ah, yes, of course. That magical machine that makes pictures look almost real enough to touch.
Well, actually, it's quite possible to see the same depth in pictures even without one of those contraptions.
What? Really?
Do you know how a pair of flat photographic prints can appear to have any depth in the first place?
No, I have no idea.
Oh, wonderful! Then I'll be able to tell you.
She's over the moon, bless her. Should we let her explain, though? We really need to carry on investigating the scene.
I, for one, simply have to know.
Oh. How do they work?
Have you ever considered, Bruno, how our eyes see depth in the world around us?
Well, I just open them, and it works.
But the reason it works is because we have two eyes.
Two eyes. Shocking.
If you try closing just one eye at a time, I think you'll see straight away. What you see with your left eye, and what you see with your right eye, are ever so slightly different. You get a different view with each eye.
Yes, the position of objects seem to shift slightly.
Exactly. And in your head, your brain uses that shift to estimate depth as it merges the two views into one. That's how we can sense depth in everything we see.
My brain really is amazing, isn't it? It does so much without telling me.
Ah, I think I see. So the pair of photographs consists of a left eye view and a right eye view. Is that right?
Oh, well done, Susie. You're so quick.
So, if you can persuade your brain to merge the two pictures together in your head, you'd be able to see depth in these pictures.
Yes, Bruno. You're beginning to understand.
And a stereoscope's function is to act as your brain and allow you to do just that.
Yes, but as long as you have two images, two eyes, and one brain, you can actually do it yourself without needing a stereoscope at all.
You can't? Really? You view these things.
Let's try it. Let's see if you can view this pair of prints without the help of a stereoscope.
Oh yes, I'm dying to have a go.
Susato-san really loves this kind of thing.
You need to be able to cross your eyes. That's the main thing. Can you both do that?
Cross my eyes. I think I can.
Watch me. See if you can copy.
Oh, that's cute.
Make your eyes do this.
Alright, let me try. Are you ready, Miss Naruhodo? There, how's that?
Wonderful! Now it's your turn, Runo!
The trick is to concentrate on looking at the bridge of your nose with both eyes at the same time.
Not exactly an easy task when two people are staring at you cross-eyed.
Alright, that's enough practice. Now let's try looking at the prints. Start by staring at the one print and slowly crossing your eyes. You should see two overlapping images, like this. You try it now, Runo.
I'm just gonna have to give it a try, I suppose.
Did the print split in two images for you? Now the next step. Is to put
I'm trying to do with my eyes, and I'm just not understanding.
the pair of prints side by side like this, and then try crossing your eyes again.
Yeah, I guess I don't understand.
The prints are slowly merged together until
No, that's what I got in my head.
they form a new single image in the center.
Oh, yes! Miss Naruhodo, it works! I can see it in the middle now. It looks so real. Oh, I could look at it all day.
I wouldn't advise that. Your eyes might start to hurt.
Your turn, Runo.
I already did it.
Pretend you're looking through the two pictures and slowly cross your eyes. Keep adjusting the position of your eyes until the two images overlap exactly in the middle.
Like, this, is it? I did it in my head. I finally got to see how it works.
There, you managed it. So now you know how stereoscopic images work.
Well, I don't know who discovered it, but it really is quite extraordinary.
So what do you think of these stereoscopic prints then, Runo?
They're certainly amazing, but it isn't easy to get the knack of viewing them properly.
No, some people find it easier than others. Well, that's why contraptions like this exist, while people find it tricky.
Oh, I recognize that. We saw one over there yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, we accidentally opened it.
If I remember correctly, you press this little knob here. Then set the pair of photographs in this stand at the back, and
It's still amazing, even though I know roughly how it works now. Sorry, taking off my shoes.
Well, London seems to agree with you. Stereoscopes are very popular at the moment. You can find one of these folding contraptions in lots and households in the capital currently.
But if these little machines are so affordable, surely there's no need to go around staring cross-eyed at pictures like you hate them.
But it's much more satisfying to be able to see the effect with your own eyes. Well, I think so in any case.
Stereoscopic prints. I never... What the fuck was that? Never mind. Something happened on my screen. Couldn't see it. I never even heard of them until yesterday. We've certainly learned a lot about them, but I wonder if it's knowledge that I'll ever actually need. We'll see. Is that it? Oh yeah, that's right, we gotta find that box. No, fucking stop. Find the box. We've already talked to that Bobby. Talked to that Bobby. That's a Bobby I can talk to. This officer has been staring intently at the wall since before we came in. Shh! Keep it down! Oh! Sorry. Observation clue just hit.
Really? Then we must tell Grexy at once.
Well, as soon as I report it, that'll be it. I'll be stuck here even longer.
Stuck here? What do you mean?
I haven't been home in 2 days already. I need another constable to relieve me and take over my shift.
Ah, they really have a tough time, the British police.
It doesn't stop us investigating now, does it?
No, I suppose not. I'm really sure it was the calendar he was peering at. Oh, shit. I just noticed that now. Ah, look here! Holy shit.
Oh yes, a bullet hole. I can see the bullets still lodged in the wall.
Presumably, Mr. Winniebank wasn't practicing with his revolver in his spare time. You hit somebody.
Ah, well. Mr. Sholmes likes to practice in his drawing room whenever he can. He's very patriotic like that.
We're not in America, Susato. Sorry.
It's all in there in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, you know? Isn't that right, Iris? Oh, yeah, I wrote something like that. Hardly in jest, perhaps. In jest? Well, he doesn't do it often. It is quite a dangerous pastime.
He doesn't do it often. He shouldn't even do it once.
Forget that for now, Bruno. Let's examine the bullet.
What's that around the bullet hole? Is that blood? A suspicious red stain on the calendar.
Ah, this is where I come in.
Oh, right. If the blood changes to be the same color as the sample from the storeroom, we'll know that it's Mr. Winniebank's blood.
Exactly. Ego then.
So if it turns blue, it's Winniebank's. Green.
It's completely different to the color that Mr. Winniebank's blood turned in the analysis. It just goes to show things don't always go according to plan, do they? Nevertheless, we must add this sample to the records, to the results of the other blood analysis.
Alright. Very interesting. Interesting. Green blood. It just seems wrong somehow.
Oh, there are all sorts of different colors. There are pretty pinks, purples too, you know. Like I said, everyone's blood's different.
I wonder what color my blood would turn out.
Actually, I don't want to know. These shelves are where the pawnbroker puts articles that have been forfeited on display for customers to buy.
Yes, it's a really strange miscellany, isn't it? I mean, who would buy these horse statues, for example?
Well, sometimes you can find some real treasures among all the junk, you know? Are you alright, Bruno?
Oh, it's just, well, it looks like a collection of useless junk as a whole, but when you when you pick out individual things, you can't help wishing you owned them. Even that horse statue.
That's exactly how the pawnbroker works. They're very clever.
It's that strange contraption that lets you see pictures of things as if they're right in front of your eyes. It makes you think. When Mr. Sholmes gleefully showed it to us yesterday, we were blissfully unaware that any of this was about to happen. Nope, that's not what I clicked. Didn't want to click that. I'm fairly sure this contraption was here yesterday as well. Here we are, though I'm not confident I can get it closed again.
Oh, yes! That's a folding stereoscope!
Really? This is a stereoscope? Mr. Sholmes showed us a picture yesterday that you were supposed to be able to see in 3 dimensions. But for that, he used a great big contraption over there.
Ah, well, that's for use in public houses and places like that. It contains a carousel with all sorts of print pictures inside. But this little thing is a much simpler design for use at a home. There are special shops selling prints that you can use in them. I have a little collection myself.
I wonder if I could make money out of using Japan. It would beat keeping my toilet sparkling clean anyway. Why'd you bring that into consideration?
That's a music box. Do you have them where you come from, Bruno?
Yes, but I've never seen one as large as this in Japan.
Oh, well, this would be a treat. Shall we have a listen?
Drink time.
What do you think? Isn't it a pretty sound?
It's a beautiful sound, yes, but it's a little hard to enjoy when all the policemen in the room are giving you fierce looks.
Never mind that. If any of them say anything, I'll tell Grixie to have a word.
Iris Wilson, Superintendent of Scotland Yard. That ledger that's open on the counter there really is enormous, isn't it? Must be an awful lot of work to keep track of all these hundreds of items in column.
It's too much to think about. Better to sell it all and have a clear head if you ask me.
But clearly Mr. Windybank was very careful when it came to the articles in his care. Oh, that's it? Anything else? Anything else I can converse with? Nope. I have to go back to the storeroom? Hey, Gregson. Hey, you know anything about this? Inspector Gregson, nope. Alright. Well, I'm not gonna sit here and watch you drink tea. Fuck you. You think I'm gonna sit here? I don't think so. I really don't know. She's in prison, I guess. Like Gina. 16th of April, local prison, cell 13. Gina doesn't appear to be in here. Of course.
I believe she must be in questioning at the moment.
Oh, but wait a minute.
What is it, Iris?
Well, if you examine the scene here carefully, there's another possibility, isn't there? Jeannie could have slipped the key from the jailer when he wasn't looking and escaped.
Oh my!
Why would she do something like that? It would only make her situation worse.
Calm down, Bruno. I was only joking, of course.
Don't joke with me about that. Oh. You had me worried there. I thought it was a great deduction.
Yes, it must be your way with words, Iris. You're so wonderfully persuasive. Perhaps you don't fully understand the weight of your words, Carrie.
Oh dear, I'm sorry. I suppose a light-hearted great detective is a contradiction in terms.
Well, in the same situation, I'm sure Mr. Sholmes would have just thrown his head back and golfed.
I'm not entirely sure that's helpful, Mr. Naruhodo.
Well, in any case, it looks like we won't be able to talk with Gina for a while. We should try and make progress with our investigation in the meantime.
Yes! Come along then, Bruno. Come along, Susie.
The thing is, I don't know where to go. Sholmes' suite? Nope. Not here. My fucking attic? Nope. Baker Street? Guess we'll examine the outside. There's still a Scotland Yard carriage outside of Windybanks.
I never imagined we'd be investigating a case so close to home.
Poor Iris. She's very upset by all this. I'm sorry. I was there. I should have done more.
None of this is your fault, Bruno. So please, don't apologize.
But
It's the criminals who are to blame for all this. So let's investigate and work out how to catch them.
yes, you're right. Well, I can't move to this side. It's already been 2 months that we've been taking lodgings here above Mr. Sholmes' office. I still can't quite believe it. I never expected things would turn out like this.
When Hurley comes back home, let's have a big party!
That's a great idea. I'm sure it won't be long. Mr. Sholmes is very tough.
Yes!
Alright, well, that's all I can do here. Fuck me. Chief Justice Strongheart? Nope. Got you. The hospital again? Nope. Fuck me.
Oh! My manuscript!
Mr. Sholmes said he deposited at Winniebanks and he had.
But it's so strange! What is it about this particular story? I worked so hard on it! Why would Hurley say I can't publish it?
I'm afraid I have no idea. All you can do is wait until he's ready to tell you, I suppose.
Oh, maybe it's because Hurley isn't in enough. Maybe I didn't give him enough good lines.
Yes, maybe. I wish I could say that definitely isn't the reason, but I can't. Oh, this is cool. Okay. So we know this is Winniebanks. Blue. And with the fucking story, I guess. Iris Wilson. Hound of the Baskervilles. How does Susato-san know the exact title of this unpublished story? I suppose I'll just have to wait until she's ready to explain it to me. I'm so sorry. Well, nothing out of that, I guess. I, the undersigned, agreed to legal representation by the lawyer named hereunder in regard to the following incident: Gina Lestrade with Ria Nasuke Naruhodo. Alleged offense: murder at Baker Street on River.
It's Naruhodo. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's something rather troubling here.
I have noticed.
The red smear, you mean?
Yes, it looks like blood, doesn't it? I wonder if Susato-san has picked up on that. Well, in that case...
Yes, we need Iris.
We should show this to her before we forget. Ah, okay. So I had to look at this and then show it to her. Got it. Figured it out, boys.
Oh, that looks like blood!
Oh yeah. I would say it's from a gloved finger. Almost certainly a glove made of leather.
Well, don't worry, Runo. You can leave the rest to me.
Ow! What color will it be? Purple. 3 different people. Look at that.
Yes, that's a color we haven't seen before, isn't it?
We simply must add it to the portfolio of blood samples. It could be an important clue. Although, it would be nice to find out whose blood these different colors correspond to at some point.
Well, this particular stain of blood.
Oh, you've had an idea, haven't you? Do you know whose blood it is?
I have fucking no idea. Thanks for asking me, though. No idea. How could I? We don't know a sample of the same color. Without that, it's impossible to know.
Oh, how very vexing.
I wonder.
What?
Well, it's true that the color doesn't help us. What about considering how the moth came to be there in the first place? You might have an idea about that. Mightn't you, Bruno?
Not if you keep staring at me like that, no.
Let's try this again, shall we?
Well, this particular stain of blood.
Oh, you've had an idea, haven't you? You know whose blood it is.
Well, I have to say I think I do. Yes, I have an idea whose blood it is. Not from the color it turned, but with a little deduction.
That's right. I think it's clear.
Iris, you know as well?
You first, Bruno. Who do you think it belongs to?
Alright, I believe that this blood is from the blood of... Well, it's not Windy Bank. I don't think it's Mason. Could be McGilded. But no. Wait, McGilded? Maybe. Hold up, McGilded? Using a little deduction. Mason had no gloves on, I think. Gina never had gloves either. Neither did Windy Bank. Has to be McGilded.
Mr. McGilded.
Yes, after all, this redemption ticket belonged to him.
Oh, you don't think? You mean that during the incident on the omnibus?
Yes, I expect so. It's a very clear print, and no small amount of blood. So it must have resulted from a fairly serious accident, such as he might have sustained on the omnibus.
Wait, but if I remember rightly, no sign of injury was found on McGilded at all.
Oh,
We're trying to work out whose blood it came from, so we can rule out anyone who hasn't been bleeding straight away.
ah, well, that makes sense. Yes, I suppose we can. I'll have to think this through some more. Who do we know that was bleeding at the time? Thanks for making me feel dumb, game. Alright, I believe this is the blood of Thrice-Fired Mason. Thrice-Fired Mason?
You don't sound very sure of yourself, the way you trailed off there.
Well, it was 2 months ago now, that case. And, of course, I never met the victim, so I'm struggling to remember his name. He was definitely thrice-fired, though.
The victim of the omnibus case? Yes, his name was indeed Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. But that would mean that his bloodstain was left on the ticket 2 months ago.
Yes, I think it was. Gina brought this ticket here to Windy Banks yesterday. I'm suggesting that the bloodstain was already on it at the time.
So it's a smear of blood from the time that Mr. Mason was killed 2 months ago.
Something else is coming back to me now. Mr. McGilded was also wearing leather gloves that night.
Yeah, that is true.
Now I ask you,
What good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from a stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached out to give him the man a hand. It certainly does look like a leather glove thumbprint, this mark. But we know that Mr. McGilded had no injuries at the time, anywhere on his body, from which we can conclude that any blood on the glove belonged to the victim, Mr. Mason.
Now hold on. You sound just like Mr. Sholmes.
Minus the quirky slip-ups, I hope.
Yes, I think you're right, Bruno.
Very well. Let's make a note of this.
Alright. It's Mr. Mason's. And in the portfolio. Alright, well, we figured that out. So we figured this out. So the green blood is still unknown. The purple blood is Mason's. And Windy Banks is blue. Jesus Christ, there's so many colors. So many colors of the rainbow. Yo, Gregson! How about this? No! Now I gotta sit through this shit. Stop drinking the damn tea! Oh shit. I I tapped so many things I shouldn't have tapped. Shut the fuck up and stop drinking the tea. Thank you. I'm kinda lost right now, guys. I'll be right back. Alright, so I guess the only thing that makes sense at this point in time, yes, and I did just come back, sorry. The only thing that makes sense at this point in time is to see Gina. Because that's the only other person we can practically talk to. So I guess that's where we're going. I guess not. God fucking damn it. Alright. I knew I missed something. Gotta talk about the fucking box. Inspector, what do you make of this? What do we have here then? A redemption ticket for an article deposited here, is it? Looks like someone ran out of office stationery and wrote the ticket on whatever paper was to hand. Yes, this is the ticket for McGilded's overcoat. The one the little diver turned up with yesterday. Oh, actually no, it's not. Really? You think you know better than me, do you? No, I didn't mean to.
Bruno's right, Greg. See, it isn't the same ticket.
Of course it isn't! Of course it isn't! I never doubted you, your ladyship! So, what's all this about then, if I might be so bold as to ask?
This is a second ticket.
A second one? It seems that Mr. McGilded, in fact, had another article in storage here at Windy Banks. Is that right?
I think we need to discuss this further with the inspector, Miss Naruhodo.
Oh, good, because he's ever so easy to talk to. Alright, finally. Jesus Christ. Finally moving on. This ticket was in one of the pockets of Mr. McGilded's overcoat. Eh? You mean to tell me? Yes, there was more than just a music box disc, it seems. I should have insisted on the lads taking it back to the yard and examining it properly.
Well, according to the details on this ticket, Mr. McGilded deposited another article here with Mr. Wingbank.
Yes, I can see it written here. A small box, was it?
Do you have any idea where it is, Grexy? Any idea at all? It's another article belonging to Mr. McGilded. It could be an important clue.
Well, yes. I suppose it could be. Please, stop looking at me with those big turquoise eyes, all full of hope and expectation. It's too much pressure. I'll lose me marbles. I will. I'll go barking. I'm hungry too, bro. Stop eating. It's no time for dog impressions, Inspector. That's enough sauce from you, sunshine. Yeah. There is one thing that springs to mind. According to this ticket, the redemption deadline's already passed, hasn't it?
Oh yes, of course. Articles are only here for 2 months.
So the small box will no longer be in here then.
That's right. It's been forfeited.
Which means it could be on the shelves in the front of the shop, where the forfeited items are offered for sale.
Yes, the shelves in the front. We must search them at once. You're wasting your time.
Oh!
There are dozens of little boxes out there, hundreds even. We can't possibly know which one might have been McGilded's. That information's not written in the ledger. Ugh.
Well, I think we should at least have a look, just in case.
Of course, your ladyship, of course! Very sensible of you, I'm sure. This is getting old. I feel you. I feel you so bad, Ryu. Ryunosuke. Oh. Dong, dong, dong. Uh-oh.
Ah! I nearly jumped out of my skin there. How could Mr. Winnieback set such a wicked trap?
I doubt he set it out to scare anyone.
Is that really the time? I think perhaps we should pay Gina another visit soon.
Oh?
Her trial is tomorrow. We must establish whether or not you will be defending her. I think we should ask her one more time. She may have changed her mind.
Don't you remember, Runo? You told her she could rip up the representation papers if she didn't want you to be a lawyer.
Really? Did I say that?
Yes, you did.
The deadline for submitting the paperwork is fast approaching.
In that case, we had better hurry back to the prison and talk to Gina again. Now I look fucking dumb. Thanks a lot. Huh? To the prison! Let's fucking go. Ooh. Finally, we're moving on in the world. Gina, good. You're back.
Ah! The police must have finished questioning her then.
Oh, how was it, Jeannie? Was it awful?
Oh, it didn't bother me.
Thank you for your paperwork you signed before. It meant we were able to investigate at Winniebanks.
Oh, right.
Don't you want to know how we got on? We've been ever so busy.
What's the point in asking? I'll change what everyone's saying. That I did it.
That's not...
Gina, we came to ask you for your final decision. What decision? About tomorrow's trial. Will you let me defend you or not?
I must submit the paperwork now if you'd like Mr. Naohodo to represent you. Right, I see.
She's really lost her fight all of a sudden. But I know what that feels like. The worry is just so hard to bear. Fuck, of course I gotta talk with her. Oh, alright then. Blimey, give it a rest with the eyes, Iris. So come on then, fill us in. Who done it? Unfortunately, we don't know that yet. You don't say.
You don't know yet, Gina. But Mr. Naruhodo and all of us know that you are innocent of this crime.
And while we haven't yet managed to work out who the real culprit is, there are a number of interesting facts that we have managed to establish.
Oh yeah?
Like what? Well, for example, the reason for you being in there in the first place. I think I know now why you broke into Winniebanks that night. Looks like I'm going to have to take some evidence that really reveals the reason. Thrust it in Gina's face! Or I could present it to her calmly, I suppose. Let me present it, I guess. Manuscript, present! We found this in Mr. Winniebank's storeroom. The manuscript of Iris's latest story.
Ah!
Oh, right. Well, that's good then. Curiously, the storeroom at Winniebank showed no sign of being ransacked for items of value or the like. With one exception. The box file that housed this manuscript. It was you, wasn't it, Gina, who broke open the box containing this manuscript last night? You were determined to find out whether or not the Hound of the Baskervilles was really there. That's the real reason you broke into the storeroom last night, isn't it? Why don't you tell us what happened? Please. Alright. Well, let me get the representation thing real quick.
We already have the representation papers and other documents we need.
All we have to do is hand them to the court clerk. That is, if you will allow me to represent you in court tomorrow. Nah, don't bother.
Jenny!
Rip them up and chuck them, will ya? Them representation papers, or whatever they're called. They're selling fancy enough to have a bean. So, what will you do in court tomorrow? I'll be fine on me own.
I don't think that you will, boy.
Look, it doesn't matter. What's gonna happen is gonna happen. This is one stubborn pickpocket. Alright, yeah, this Baskerville story. It's the latest Sholmes adventure, right? but it ain't been printed yet. So I figured it's gonna be worth a few pieces. A few pieces of silver, right?
Oh yes, at least 5,000 pounds.
What?
So, you intend to sell Iris's manuscript, did you?
No. Genie, how could you?
What? Wait, no, hang on. Of course I wasn't gonna sell it. All I wanted to do was find out if the mantle script or whatever you call it was really there or not. That's the only reason I was in there in the first place.
For Iris's sake, isn't that right?
We knew why you'd done it from the start, Gina. Of course we did.
But
I knew you wouldn't do anything mean like that, Genie. I just knew it.
Well, when I saw the manuscript, I said mantle script. Fucking hell. I saw the manuscript in the storeroom. It reminded me of what you said the night before. Grown-ups do the worst of things like that, believe me. Better-faced liars, a lot of them. You just ain't realized it yet. I'm telling you, that mantle script ain't at Windy Banks. You'll soon see if you had a look.
If I'm honest, I have wondered if Hurley's telling me the truth sometimes. I mean that I sometimes wonder if he might have hidden my manuscript somewhere I don't know. Even though it's wrong of me to doubt him. Oh, Ginny, that's so sweet of you.
Alright. I'll tell you what I did. Just stop looking at me with like that, Iris. It weren't because of Iris. That's not why I did it. I just wanted to know the truth, that's all.
you wanted to know if Mr. Sholmes was being honest. If he'd really deposited the manuscript at Windy Banks.
It's like I told you the night before. I never had a father.
But Iris's lot ain't like mine. She got her dad, only she can't see him. And I reckon that's gotta be harder. That's why she writes her stories. They're about her dad, really. That's what it sounded like to me, anyway, last night when I was listening to what you were saying.
Stories about Daddy.
You mean they're not the adventures of a great detective, so much as the adventures of a great detective and his trusty partner? Well, that's how I see it, yeah.
You're so thoughtful and so kind, Ginny.
Yes, and we never thought any differently, did we?
Look, give it a rest, will ya? I ain't all this chummy nonsense, do ya? I hate it. I don't trust no one, right? That's how I work. 'Cause if you don't trust no one, no one can let you down. So leave me alone. Go on, scapper. No. I hadn't noticed until now, but it's unmistakable. Right there on both sleeves of that overcoat. Is that blood? Or some very suspicious red stains. What? What are you looking at me like that? I think it might be worth presenting some other findings in that area to Gina now. I have to fucking go back and present. I hate this mechanic sometimes. Those stains on the sleeves of your new coat, Gina. They're blood, aren't they? Not that I know whose blood yet. What? The blood, Miss Naruhodo. You don't appear to have any obvious wounds yourself, though. So could it be blood that spattered from Mr. Windybank when he got shot last night?
Let's not beat around the bush here. This trusty friend of mine will get results much faster than anything else.
Take it easy, Iris.
Don't move, Ginny. I'm gonna shoot.
What color? What color? Purple.
Oh,
So it's not Windy Bank. It's Mason. Mason's blood.
Oh! Oh my!
What the? Forget the sleeves! The whole coat is covered in blood! Oh, that's Iris. Of course. The black color of the fabric was masking the stains. That's why we haven't seen them until now.
And the blood has reacted with a chemical that turned a purple color, which matches one of the samples we've already collected perfectly. Yes, now let's see. Who had the purple blood? Aha! Yes! It was a brickmaker! Mr. Mason, the victim of the murder case 2 months ago.
I knew it. What? What are y'all all about? The victim? What do you mean?
It's a rather uncomfortable situation, Mr. Naruhodo, but I think this makes things quite clear. It means the omnibus case is finally solved. The truth about who really murdered the brickmaker, Mr. Mason, is revealed.
Oi! Would someone explain what's going on? Stop telling half the story! We can see now the victim's blood is all over Mr. McGilden's overcoat.
But in the trial 2 months ago, the defendant said this in his testimony.
Now I ask yous, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand. But if you look at that overcoat now, it's clear. These stains couldn't have arisen from McGilda trying to pull the victim to his feet.
No. No. If that was what had really happened, the blood wouldn't have splattered all over the front of the coat.
The only explanation for this type of pattern of blood is that it splattered over McGilda's coat when he stabbed the victim in the stomach. I've tried to run from the truth for long enough, but there's no escaping it now. The true culprit in the case, Mr. Mason's killer, was Magnus McGilded. Aw, shit.
Miss Naruhodo.
That horrible case is solved at last. And I hope the man walk free from that trial. I used all that wicked testimony and all the sham evidence to prove his innocence. How could I have let that happen?
Oh no. Did you believe him, though? Did you believe Mr. McGilder was innocent?
I believed. Or rather, I think I was trying to believe. I wanted to. Because believing in those you represent in court is a defense lawyer's greatest weapon.
A weapon?
Before we came to Great Britain, a great friend of mine taught me a valuable lesson.
You mean Kazuma-sama?
Kazuma! Listen, Ryunosuke. I think that was the voice I did for him. I can't remember. We lawyers are only human. We can't know for sure what is the truth and what is lie. Which is why we must resort to our primary weapon. An unwavering belief in our clients. That is all we really have. Unwavering belief? Only when we truly believe what our clients tell us can we fight with everything we have for their cause. In any battle, there can be no victory without faith. So I believe you, unwaveringly. I think that's the voice I gave him. I don't remember. That's funny, Gina. God, sounds like the senpai of Japan you come from. Everyone must be so soft. Well, come on. Look at the mess you've got. It's got you into believing in that bog trotter. Yes, I inadvertently helped a murderer walk free.
Well, at least you've learned your lesson now, huh? Believing in people's never worth it. Someone always stabs you in the back in the end. As soon as you let your guard down, you've had it. Take a leaf out of my book. Believe no one. Get hurt by no one. Gina, may I ask you something?
What?
I'd just like to make absolutely sure. What would you like us to do with these representation papers for tomorrow's trial?
How many times do I have to say it? Rip them up and chuck them away.
Are you really sure that's what you want?
I bet that's what he wants and all now. Mr. I'm a believer lawyer over there. Don't forget it was me in that trial 2 months ago. I led everyone up that garden path, didn't I? And you're telling me you can believe in me after that? Not likely.
Well, Miss Naruhodo?
A lawyer's primary weapon is an unwavering belief in his clients. Ultimately, it comes down to whether or not I feel I can trust Gina after everything that's happened. I trust her. Gina, let me say it again. Please allow me to represent you in tomorrow's trial.
Eh?
Are you half-baked? Not at all. You've not once admitted to committing the crime, have you? What's more, I believe that you're telling me the truth.
Seriously, Mr. Naruhodo. Didn't you hear all of what I said before? I'm a born liar. Fibs just trip off me tongue. And I'm a diver, don't forget. I pulled the wool over your eyes 2 months ago and got you into all sorts of trouble. What are you ever gonna trust me now? I just don't get it. Gina, I do understand why you choose not to put your trust in others. But I assure you, there is more to this life than you yet realize. What do you mean? The world we live in is full of people you would do very well to trust. People who won't ever let you down. Eh?
It's true that I'm just a student of law, and I'm certainly lacking in courtroom experience. But I can promise you this. Whatever happens, and until my very last breath, I am completely on your side. Hell yeah. Let's go. What do you expect me to say to that? Oh, she's crying.
Then it's decided. I will take these papers now and carry out the necessary preparations for tomorrow's trial. It would be a shame to throw them away now after it's been penned with your name so beautifully. Do what you like. You Eastern laws are... I don't know what you are. I don't get you.
Oh my god. Gina's taken herself off the back of herself. She never admitted, but I hope she's feeling relieved. That turned out alright in the end, I think. What's going on now? To be continued? Nope. Oh.
Whoever's hiding there, show yourself at once. Eavesdropping is the height of cowardice.
Mrs. Sato!
Somebody's there in the shadows. I can sense it. Somebody who wasn't there before.
What? I'm ear sharp, huh? Oh, hello. I'm ear sharp, huh? I suppose you were using one of those mystic Japanese arts, like the art of stealth I've heard so much about. If anyone was being stealthy, it was you, Inspector.
Let's see.
Oh dear me, I am most terribly sorry, your ladyship. I didn't mean to startle you.
How long have you been listening to our conversation?
Good grief, listening in. No. I just got word that there were some visitors who were refusing to leave, even though it was after hours. I assure you, your ladyship, I only just arrived this very minute, not a moment earlier. That's all it is. Nothing untoward. Nothing at all. After hours. Is it that late already? So then, I'll humbly excuse myself now, your ladyship. Ta-ta, toodaloo, cheerio, all the best, bye, bye, and bye. That's a lot of farewells, and not one of them appropriate for her ladyship.
Oh, but I want to have a chat.
I'm terribly sorry, but time is pressing at the moment.
Oh, I see. That's a shame.
If I don't get this emergency at the Supreme Court dealt with, Sharpish, Lord Strongheart will, well...
Emergency?
Lord Strongheart? Nothing! Forget I said anything! Anyway, I'm off!
Alright, Grexy, if you have to, well, let's chat soon.
Delighted, charmed, can't wait, if you please, my pleasure. That's a lot of pleasantries, and not one of them sounded sincere.
Grexy's so funny, he says such silly things.
It's certainly entertaining to see an inspector of the police fawning to a 10-year-old girl. Please don't say that. But anyway, I wonder what this emergency is at the Supreme Court.
I must attend the court clerk's office now before it closes.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Mrs. Susato.
Kindly escort Iris home now, Miss Naruhodo. I shall meet you there later.
Okie dokie. Water time. Oh, fuck it. I thought that was it. Fuck. Took a sip anyway. And so our investigation came to an end. Susato-san went to file the necessary papers for my defense of Gina the following day. And then it hit me. I could no longer suppress the wretched feelings that had been gnawing away at my insides. Tomorrow, Susato-san would be leaving Britain and making her way back to Japan. Oh, it's almost midnight? Jesus Christ, I don't know, you should get to bed.
Naruhodo-san. Been a very tiring day, hasn't it? I do hope you're not too exhausted.
What about you, Susato-san? Today's been even more trying for you, I'm sure. Mr. Sholmes was shot before our eyes, Gina was arrested, all in the back of the news that her father had fallen ill, and that she must return to Japan at once. I hope your father recovers soon.
Thank you for your kind words. I wonder why it is. So many thoughts rage in my head like a storm, and yet I seem unable to find the words to express any of them.
I know exactly what you mean.
Anyway, I have one final task to complete as your judicial assistant. Once that is done, I shall make preparations for my departure tomorrow.
One final task?
It's just 2 months since we arrived in London, but we've managed to establish this office. It was finally feeling as though we were settling in. I would be lying if I said I felt no regret.
I'm so sorry, Susato-san.
It's just so sudden. I really don't know what to think. I've had no time to gather my thoughts.
I know we've only been here a short time, but in my limited experience of the courtroom, I feel I've learned something.
And what would that be?
It seems to me there are many facets to people's personalities.
Facets?
And like a jewel, the light plays off them in complex patterns, illuminating their actions and their motives. But we see only a small number of the total facets, and what is illuminated is only a part of the whole story. What lies in the shadows? What do those facets we cannot see look like? Perhaps there are some parts we'll never lay eyes on, for as long as we live.
That's so true.
Sometimes I feel as though I'm blind to so much. But I keep hoping that one day it will all become clear. That's all the facets will be illuminated, and I'll finally understand how everything fits together.
Naruhodo-san.
I suppose what matters is that we keep our eyes open and keep moving forward, even if the way sometimes seems dark.
It's amazing to think it's been just 2 months. You've grown so much.
Sorry? I've what?
Oh no, it was nothing. Unimportant.
Do you know what time you will leave London in the morning?
Yes, I picked up my ticket earlier. I shall be leaving here at 4 a.m.
I see. Well, I'll escort you to the station.
Absolutely not.
Sorry?
I'm sure you realize why I couldn't possibly let you do that. You have a very important day ahead of you tomorrow.
Gina's trial. Yes, I know, but
Every word you utter will have the potential to determine Gina's fate. You must get as much rest as possible. Even though, like me, I'm sure you will find it hard to sleep. But please, for me, do try.
what's the final task you want, Susato? You mentioned one final task a moment ago. What did you mean?
Oh, my, I nearly forgot. Please, I want you to have this.
What is that? Some huge bundle of documents.
It's my notes from the case 2 months ago. The murder that was committed on the omnibus.
The Gilded case?
It seems to me that this case of Mr. Winniebank's murder, of which Gina is accused, is very much tied up with that omnibus case in ways that are not yet completely apparent. So I took the liberty of consolidating my writings about the case for you.
With everything else she's had to think about, Susato-san still managed to do this, and all neatly laid out for me in her beautiful handwriting.
It was my pleasure. I can only hope that it will bolster your case tomorrow for Gina.
Thank you so much, Susato-san. I will do my best to use it wisely. You really are the best judicial assistant in the world.
Well, that's extremely flattering. But I'm sorry to say that I've been a complete failure.
Sorry? I didn't quite catch what you said there.
Oh, ignore me. I was just mumbling to myself.
Sure. Alright, whatever you say.
Well, it's getting rather late. I think you should go to bed now, Naruhodo-san. I must finish packing up my things in my room.
Susato-san, I
wish you the very best of luck tomorrow. Good night.
Wait, there's something I need to say.
Hiya!
Oh, fucking... Okay. What was that?
A secret technique of mine. A Susato shutdown.
Shutdown? Looks like a Susato takedown to me.
Please, I implore you. If we had to voice our goodbyes, I won't be able to hold back my tears.
Aww. No. Susato-san. Well, I guess I'm falling asleep on my back. It truly has been a trying day, whatever. I know how to speak words. On our feet for hours, getting Gina to open up to us, and learning the truth about that nemesis of a case. Physically and mentally, I was exhausted, and yet the idea of sleep seemed impossible. But I forced myself to close my eyes, and as a fucking cacophony of scenes of our lives here in London played through my mind, eventually, my fatigue triumphed, and I fell into a deep sleep. Why do you do this? Just go to dark, please. Should we continue? Oh, come on! Come on! What the fuck's happening now?
Yes, I quite understand. That is a great weight off my mind.
If that's Susato. Right? Nope, fuck. Well, whatever. Fuck me. Rest assured, I will put everything in place, exactly as we have discussed. Thank you so much. It has been an honor and a pleasure to be acquainted with you, Mr. Sholmes. I'm guessing that's Susato. On the contrary, the pleasure has been mine. I bid you farewell, and Godspeed. Yep. My dear madam. So, okay. Huh. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? I'm so confused. I guess we'll save. Yes, we're going to trial! Finally! Jesus Christ! What has it been? 4 episodes? Oh my god! Well, we're gonna leave it here, guys. It's been an hour and a half of recording. I'm tired. My throat is sore from all the voices. Even though I've only done me and Susato and Iris and basically everyone else. It's not vocal intensive. But goddamn, I can't wait to get to the jury because I am going to lose my voice, I feel. Anyway, today's been fucking crazy. This episode's been fucking crazy. I am fucking crazy. So I'm gonna just leave it here. Leave a like if you enjoyed it and if you haven't already. Please subscribe for more Ace Attorney content and for more XCOM content down the road. And once this entire trial is fucking over, see you guys next time. Bye-bye.